is how to turn any generic AI layout into a clear design direction instantly. This is not about generating another random first draft. It's about taking one base layout and pushing it into a style that actually knows what it wants to be. So I built this with Codex and Aura. So the idea is simple. You start with one base layout. Then, instead of endlessly reprompting and hoping the AI gets more taste, you apply a visual DNA that gives the design an actual point of view. Some styles are built for SaaS and product pages. Some are more experimental and visual. And then there's the premium library if you want more advanced direction. The goal is not just to make the page prettier. Is to make the very first iteration feel intentional. So first, here's the base. This is the neutral starting point. Just a solid layout structure of 6 sections I have selected that you can transform in different directions. From there, we can push it into different design languages depending on the kind of product, mood, or audience we want. First, I added 5 SaaS and product focused styles. Those are free. These are meant to be practical, usable, and a little bit more elevated than the default AI look without getting too artistic or too abstract. Then I added 7 playground styles, and these are also free. This is where things get more visual, more expressive, and more directional. And if you want the full library, there's also a premium version that unlocks 20 additional styles across premium light and premium dark. These go further in terms of mood, visual identity, and overall transformation. So instead of just cleaning up a layout, you can push it into a much more specific aesthetic direction. And this is pretty easy to use. You start with your base layout, pick a direction, and just copy the DNA. And use that to push your first iteration into something way more intentional. So instead of asking AI to magically have a better taste, you're giving it a clearer creative brief from the start. So that's really the whole point. Better direction in the first iteration. One important thing to keep in mind is this. Even if you can transform a full layout into a completely new style with just a single prompt, you should not expect the result to be 100% finished. In most cases, a strong DNA prompt will get you around 80% of the way, which is already a huge shortcut. But the final 20% still comes from your own eye and your own refinement. For example, here I do not really like how the headline is stacked, so I'll jump into code mode, adjust it manually, and just like that, one small issue fixed. And that is really the point. After applying the DNA style, the kind of thing you still want to refine are usually the small details, the typography, spacing, adding or removing a section, changing an image, or tightening the visual rhythm of the page. So this prompt is not meant to replace design judgment. It is meant to get you from 0 to 80% extremely fast. And honestly, that is a very powerful tool to have. Now let's take a look at the different styles that are available. Under SaaS and product, we have the minimalist. This one strips everything's back. It feels clean, restrained, and very product first. If you want clarity, calm hierarchy, and something polished without trying too hard, this is probably the safest direction. The strategist. This one feels more enterprise, more structured, more analytical, and more boardroom ready. It has that calm B2B confidence, less startup energy, more executive clarity. The startup. This pushes things into a sharper, more modern product launch feel. It still feels clean, but there is more energy, more momentum, more of that we are shipping fast feeling without looking messy. The operator, this one feels systematic, more performance driven, more operational, and more like a serious tool built to solve real workflow problem. It is clean, direct, and very easy to trust. The futurist, this is where the product starts to feel more visionary. Still controls, still premium, but with more atmosphere, more depth, and a more next generation feel. Less sales page, more AI product reveal. Then, in the playground category, we have architectural editorial. This one feels precise and composed, very layout aware, very spatial, very curated. It has that premium editorial calm where every block feels intentional. Dark system. This pushes the interface into a darker, more controlled product language. It feels technical, focused, and slightly cinematic without going full sci-fi. Indigo editorial. This one feels softer and more atmospheric, a little more mood, a little more color identity, and a more refined editorial presence. Midnight Ledger. This one has a sharper, more financial tone. It feels structured, credible, and information rich, like a premium interface built around trust and clarity. Soft Futurist. This takes the futuristic direction and makes it more approachable, still modern, still dimensional, but less severe, more elegant than aggressive. Soft Neuromorphic. This one is more tactile, softer surfaces, more depth, more interface warmth. It feels friendly, polished, and slightly more experimental. Specimen Display. This one is more typography-led. It feels like the design is making a statement through composition, type, and visual rhythm, rather than relying on standard product blocks. Now, for Premium Light, we have Atmospheric Grid. This one feels airy and structured at the same time. Clean, spacious, and very controlled, with a subtle systems feel underneath. Blue Infrastructure. This one leans into trust, logic, and technical clarity. It feels like a more polished infrastructure product, but with a cleaner and brighter visual surface. Industrial System. This one feels more engineered, stronger structure, less softness, more function. It gives the layout a serious product meets machinery tone. Red Grid Manifest. This one has more tension and more attitude. Still structured, but with a sharper visual voice and a little more intensity in the presentation. Rust Poster. This one feels more graphic and more expressive. A little more editorial, a little more poster-like, and more visually assertive than a typical product page. And under Premium Dark, we have Acid Noir. This one is dark, high contrast, and a little more provocative. It has more energy, more visual bite, and a stronger sense of attitude. Analytics Noir. This feels like data but elevated. Still dark, still controlled, but with more of a premium intelligence layer on top. Aurora Exchange. This one feels more luminous and atmospheric. It has a polished fintech energy, darker surfaces, soft glow, and a more fluid premium interface feel. Dark Skeuomorphic. This one adds more object depth and more tactile presence. It still feels modern, but with richer surfaces and stronger dimensionality. Emerald System. This one feels precise, high trust, and signal driven. A darker interface with a sharper accent identity and a more system level feel. Neon Protocol. This pushes the page into a more futuristic command center direction. More vivid, more electric, but still controlled and premium. Quantum Editorial. This one blends editorial composition with darker futuristic energy, so it feels more designed, more curated, and a little less like a conventional product page. Secure Terminal. This style has a more severe technical tone, very dark, very precise, very command line inspired, but still premium and cinematic rather than raw developer UI. Signal infrastructure. This one feels like an infrastructure platform with real weight, high trust, structured, technical, and performance driven, the kind of visual direction that makes the product feel serious right away. Sonic editorial. This one has more motion in the mood. It feels sharper, more pace, and a little more media-like in how it presents the design. Telemetry grid. This one leans into measurement, systems, and interface logic. It feels operational, but more elevated and cinematic than a standard dashboard aesthetic. And finally, thermal terminal. This one feels dense, dark, and instrument-like. A little more machine room, a little more signal processing, and very identity heavy. So the free version includes the SaaS and product styles and the playground style. And the download link will be in the description. And if you want the full file with all the premium direction, you can unlock the paid version. Link will also be in the description. I'll keep expanding this library and adding new DNA style over time. And if you're experimenting with AI design right now, this is probably one of the fastest ways to make your layout feel more specific, more polished, and a lot less generic. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful, and I'm really curious to know which DNA style you would use the most. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.